What is up, everyone? I am Chris Knight, and you are watching Chaos Central's The Rule of Three here with my great co-hosts. I got Nzo over here, and I got Danny Graham of Comic Chats, and Nzo, of course, of Biggaford Entertainment. Guys, thank you for joining me. As it is Sunday, it is 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'll let you guys have this one time. You know, I'm nice to you guys because I allow you guys to have this at your time, not my time.
You can't really allow us to have it. We have the best time, bro.
Oh, whatever. Central.
Just admit it, bro. Just
conversation every
admit
time.
it.
Central. Yeah. It's central to everything in the world. Anyways, guys, it's really simple. We got this great format here. We got the three of us. We are going to pick 3 topics with the wheel of topics. We get 3 minutes each to discuss it, and then 3 minutes to collaborate on discussion, depending on if we agree, disagree, whatever. We are separated by many miles. Therefore, depending on if we fight. So there will be no, no holds barred fighting going on or anything like that. We got United Thrive in the chat. Do me a favor before anything, guys. Please tweet us out and smash that like button.
That's right.
Guys, we really appreciate it. If you check this out on Twitter, on my Twitter, you can get the YouTube link to Chaos Central's channel and watch it over there. If you are watching on that, please make sure you hit that subscribe button on to Chaos Central's YouTube, because we're trying to get up to 100 subscribers on there. So without further waiting, we're going to go ahead and share the wheel of topics. And
spin the wheel.
That's right. So we're going to spin it right now, and we're going to get our first topic. Let's find out what the first topic is. Do you believe that The Mandalorian will exceed expectations, or things like Boba Fett being introduced cause a downturn in the overall direction of the show? Do you believe that The Mandalorian... Oh, and I cut it out already. Oh, well. Do you believe that The Mandalorian will be a success, or do you think it's going to have a downturn based on some things like the, Boba Fett possibly being introduced? I mean, that's kind of what everybody says. I've heard things that say maybe it's just fake Boba Fett, but I'm not sure. What do you guys think? Who wants to go first?
I'll go first.
I'll go.
Oh, Danny? All right, go ahead, Danny.
Danny, you're going to go first, so we're going to get our 3 minutes on the board and your time.
Let Anza go first.
Oh, you
want me to go first?
Okay.
I was going to let the elders go first. You know what I mean, bro?
What's going on, Ostinator? All right, guys, 3 minutes on the board. Go ahead.
All right. So first off, I'll admit and say that the first season of Mandalorian was okay. It wasn't great for me, right? I thought it was good. I thought it was the best part of the Disney Star Wars universe, or whatever you want to call it. Whatever they did with the movies and everything, I thought Mandalorian was the best. Do I think Mandalorian 2 will be a success? I do think it will be a success, because the first one was a success. I mean, even people that didn't like what Disney did with the Star Wars movies, it's probably universal that they think Mandalorian is definitely okay. Bringing Boba Fett into it will also bring more interest, especially from the original Star Wars fans like me. I definitely would love to see Boba Fett. I don't know what they're going to do with him. I know there's talk where he shouldn't have his armor, or something happened to his suit and stuff like that. So we'll see where they go from there. The fact that they say he's not a real Mandalorian too, I wonder how that's going to play into the series. So for me personally, I definitely think that it will be a success. I'm excited to see it. Like I said, it's Dave Filoni and Favreau. They have the realms. They've been doing good things. They have the passion for Star Wars. They could see that. I just wish they would do a little bit better job on the writing. I want them to at least talk to George Lucas, maybe find out what he thinks, or, get his opinion on some of the way the dialogue is, because right now, a lot of the dialogue seems a lot like Star Trek to me. Like, it doesn't feel like Star Wars dialogue at all to me, and I don't know, maybe I could be nitpicking or whatever. I could be, but I just want them to do something that feels more like Star Wars. So bringing in Boba Fett will definitely help with that. Will it fail? I don't think so. Like people have gotten Disney Plus just for the Mandalorian. They canceled Disney Plus as soon as the Mandalorian ended, and when it comes back, if it comes back before the Marvel stuff will definitely get people to sign up again. But if it comes back before the Marvel stuff does, then people will definitely sign right back up to see the season of Mandalorian. I also think it's very smart that they're doing it one episode a week, because you got proof that it's not a lot of content on Disney Plus, right? So got to put it every week so that people stay. But as it being a failure, I don't see that ever happening at Star Wars. Even when Star Wars is not critically acclaimed by the fans, it's still really never a failure, except for maybe Solo. But again, we all know why Solo was a failure, right? So I definitely have my hopes on The Mandalorian again, and I definitely believe that it will be a success, 100%.
Okay, awesome. Danny, 3 minutes on the board. Go ahead.
I agree with Nzo on one thing, that I think it's going to be a success, not necessarily because the first season was a success. I think that now that Dave Filoni and Jon Favreau have more time to work on it, and I think that this crisis is also giving them that extra needed time to make sure that the I's are dotted, the T's are crossed, and that everything looks good, and that the story is tight. I think that's what's going to make it a success. I personally don't want to see Boba Fett. I want him to have his own story, so I hope they'll be developing something like that. As we know, Boba Fett fell in the Sarlacc pit on the Return of the Jedi, and people were saying that his armor was corroded with acid from the stomach or whatever that thing is.
The Rancor.
And he fell and was able
Not
to
the
fight
Rancor.
the Sarlacc pit.
Yep.
Sarlacc, that's it.
And he's going to come back, and he was badly injured and that kind of stuff. I don't know. I don't care about that. I want to see Mando's story. And a lot of people saying that there's only 8 episodes. They need to tie in together. No, they don't. If you watch Star Trek was an episodic show, and it was awesome. So as long as I'm learning about Mando and what his likes and dislikes are, what his mannerisms are, what his habits are, I'm cool with it. It does not have to tie in. It does not have to have connective tissue, as long as the stories are good and as long as they finally get to an end. To me, Star Trek, Gene Roddenberry was way ahead of his time. So if Dave Filoni and Jon Favreau can tap into Gene Roddenberry memory or his vision of Star Trek and transfer that into Mandalorian, I think that is nothing but good stuff. Star Wars fans are finicky. Stuff got to be like they want it, how they want it, when they want it. That's not necessarily the case. I'm going to go back to canon. All right, that's all I'm going to say. But as long as Star Wars, and as long as Dave Filoni, I believe, and as long as Jon Favreau are touching base with George Lucas and they're brainstorming the three of them, I think Mandalorian is going to be good. A lot of people talking about the Baby Yoda, but I'm definitely interested. I personally want to see where the hell Yoda's people come from. It's this big secret squirrel secret. Well, I'm ready for it to be revealed. If we do a little seasons at a time, I'm cool with that. But I definitely think that this crisis is going to help them tighten up and make Mandalorian awesome. So season 2 awesome. So when it is finally released, that we are definitely going to be, it's going to be well worth the wait. And also, I want them to develop a Boba Fett. I don't want him to come in and kind of steal some of Mando's thunder. I want Boba Fett to have his own show, and then we learn what happened from the Sarlacc pit to present time. Mm-hmm. That's what I would want to see.
Yeah, for sure. All right. I will take my 3 minutes right now, and let's start. So I have a lot of the same idea there, Danny. I don't know if you jumped. I think you jumped on maybe the last one of the Mandalorian Roundtable that I did for the first season. And one of the constant themes we kept on coming up with is that I believe the Mandalorian was basically the leftover scraps of what script they may have had for a Boba Fett movie. We were all told we were getting a Boba Fett movie, and we never got it. It got scrapped along with all the other ones, the Obi-Wan one and all that. Now all of a sudden it seems like Obi-Wan might become a TV series, but they've also talked about, they're going to do the movie. Either way, I think it was left over from the the Boba Fett story. I think all of this was parts that they had from that. I don't understand if that is the case. And a lot of things point to that was the case. I don't understand why now all of a sudden you're going to bring Boba Fett back. If Boba Fett is around in this universe still, you should have made the show Boba Fett. That should have just been what it was. It shouldn't have been The Mandalorian. It should have just been Boba Fett. And you could have done the same stuff you're doing right now with The Mandalorian. But they chose not to do that. So why now all of a sudden are we going to bring Boba Fett into the Mandalorian show? I either want Boba Fett to have his own show or his own movie, or I don't want Boba Fett around at all. I don't, and if it's a fake Boba Fett or somebody dressing as Boba Fett or anything like that, it's like, what purpose does it serve? Now, that's kind of the reason why you're going to watch the show. If he does show up, how long does he show up? How much of a part does he have? I don't think it's going to kill the show. I'm trying to figure out, when we haven't even learned about Baby Yoda yet, and we spent a whole season wondering if we were going to get anything about it, and we didn't. Why are you going to add another mysterious person into this and have to explain all of that also? You already got great storylines. You got the dark saber. You've got Baby Yoda, that I don't necessarily want to know where Yoda comes from. I don't want to necessarily know more about Yoda's people, but I would like to have some exploration in what Baby Yoda is and why it's there. I think they need to do a little more of that. We need to know why the dark saber got to Moff Gideon. Danny, is that it? Moff Gideon?
Yeah, that's correct.
Yeah. We need to know how he got the dark saber. There's already enough story there that we don't need to bring Boba Fett into this. We just don't. So Boba Fett to me seems more like a distraction, another distraction that just doesn't need to be there. So I don't think it's going to make a downturn. Hey, Dandelion Fluff, how you doing? Thank you for coming. But I don't think it's going to bring a downturn to the series. I think the series is going to do well. I think that, like Danny said, they need to tighten it up a little better than last year. There's some stuff they could trim out. But yeah, I think it'll be okay. 3 minutes for all of us to discuss this. Okay, so Nzo, you're on board with Boba Fett being in?
Absolutely.
Danny, no.
I don't have to have him. No,
I see, and I'm the same way. I really don't want him in this. I don't have a say. And much like Danny likes to talk about, Star Trek fans or Star Wars fans, I'm sorry, are finicky. But I'm not that finicky about it. If he's there, he's there, whatever. Just make it work.
But why wouldn't you want him there when he actually has a lot to do with the history of Mandalore?
Yes, he does.
Right?
But
so,
I want to have his own story.
Like I said, the original premise of The Mandalorian, I believe, and like I said, there's a lot of parts that that people have come out and said these are the scraps and the leftovers of a movie that they were going to make, and it was going to be the Boba Fett movie.
Mm-hmm.
Why not just make Boba Fett the main part then? That's how they should have started. If we're going to bring him in now, why are we bringing him in now? He should have been the main character, and it should have been called Boba Fett last year. That's how it should have been done. And that's my only problem. Why now are we bringing him in? We're bringing him in because there's interest in it.
I'm just saying, from a business standpoint, they got Disney Plus. They really don't have any new fresh material. So while they're making Mandalorian, I'll be developing a Boba Fett. So whenever Mandalorian season 2, whatever comes out, then that's when I would throw in Boba Fett and kind of do it in a tandem.
See,
one season's on, the other season's off. That's one.
Maybe right there says it. Maybe they're testing to see if Boba Fett interest is still there, and
for a spin-off series or movie.
I'm okay with that. I guess I'm okay with that. But again, there needs to be a direct reason for Boba Fett to be in this, not just because.
Boba Fett is he has a cult following and fans.
He does. And that's why I don't understand why they didn't make this about Boba Fett to begin with. But I digress.
But even though he has a cult following, right, you can still put him in the Mandalorian, explain how we got the armor and whatever, and then move on from there to go straight to a Boba Fett movie or series.
If they did that, Nzo, I wouldn't be mad. I still would watch it. I'm just saying, if I had my choice, I would do him. I would have him on Solo. But if they throw him in there, I'm still gonna watch it, and I'll still be like, okay.
I remember the when they showed the backstory of the Mandalorian being saved after his parents were killed. They had the Mandalorians with the jetpacks. I swore to God, I thought that too. So you see, if it's another flashback, I guess that makes sense. Then I guess we can do that, and it would make sense because Boba Fett's been around since the beginning of Star Wars, even though it was an added in scene in the first one. That was shot back when it was first shot, so it makes sense why he would be there. So theoretically, I guess it could be a flashback and where he met Boba Fett. That could be done. I mean, there's lots of ways they can write that in. So let's go to our next topic here. Is the Zack Snyder cut overhyped or being overhyped? Is the Zack Snyder cut being overhyped? Who wants to start? Danny, how about you?
I'll start.
All right. Let's get the timer back up. 3 minutes on the board. Your time starts now.
I'm going to have to set my disclaimer on this. I don't want to be clipped and have this words used against me later on.
Oh, I will.
Here it is. I want Zack Snyder film to be very successful. I want each and every comic book movie that comes out to be very successful. But on the same token, this Zack Snyder cut is becoming to be more to me like a Dallas Cowboy fan. I don't much hate Dallas Cowboy. I hate the Dallas Cowboy fans because they act like them suckers can't do nothing wrong and ain't seen a damn Super Bowl and barely a playoff in 20-something years. So I'm saying this for everyone that may watch this or be tweeted this or sent this. I want Zack Snyder to be very successful. I want the Zack Snyder cut to be very successful. I'm definitely going to see every episode of it. But if it ain't, then some of y'all going to have egg on your face. It ain't going to be me. Because all I'm going to say is I'm going to wait and see. I hope that it knocks out of the park. If it was to come and surpass Endgame, I wouldn't say one thing. I'd be like, way to go. Because I generally like DC characters more than Marvel characters. In the same token, can't put your faith on this one thing and kind of put the cart before the horse and really don't know, because sometimes when you put a lot of pressure on individuals, they don't stand up to that pressure. Zack Snyder has a lot of pressure put on him now. He has the time to do it if he sits down and does it meticulously and goes from point A to B to C to D and so forth. But if he jumps B or jumps D to get to G or whatever, then he's going to mess it up. Then everybody going to be saying, I told you so, I told you. And all it's going to do is widen the gap between DC and Marvel. Right now, Marvel has a comfortable lead. And I think if this Zack Snyder cut is successful, they're going to gain some ground. They're not going to surpass Marvel, but they're going to gain a lot of ground. But that's going to put the things in place that they can do a follow-up. They can get Henry Cavill back and do Man of Steel 2. They get Ben Affleck back and do a Batman, or an Aquaman 2 coming up, and it's Wonder Woman 1984. If all those things fall into place, then they go ahead and knock it out with a flashpoint. They could catch Marvel quite easily, because we still don't know about this Shang-Chi or know about Eternals and all this kind of stuff. So I'm just hoping, fingers crossed, I'm going to say it, I want Zack Snyder cut to be successful. But I'm not ready to go and dance in the fields and shout Zack Snyder is the savior, because I just don't know. I'm not going to step on that limb. So that's all I got to say.
Okay. Nzo, 3 minutes is on the board. Go ahead.
Great. Now, I do have to disagree with my co-host over here, Mr. Danny Graham. Do I think it is overhyped? Absolutely not. I mean, was Avengers Endgame overhyped? Was Infinity Wars overhyped? No. People just want to see it, especially after what we got. You know, why not be excited about seeing a Snyder's cut? Like I said, there's going to be people that are going to be there excited to see it because they're Snyder fans. They really want to see a Justice League movie. And they're going to have the side that are excited to see it just so they can trash it. So I personally am hoping it's really good. I can't wait to see it. I don't think it's overhyped. I just think people are excited to see something different because we all know that the Justice League movie we got was crap. I mean, I didn't hate it like a lot of people do. I really don't. But, you know, majority says it's garbage, and I mean, it's not great. You know, you could tell it's from two different directors, the same movie from two different directors. You can tell it's very cut and choppy, and the cuts are, you know what I mean? It's just not a coherent movie, if that makes any sense.
Oh, absolutely.
Well, yeah. So for me, I definitely do not think it's overhyped. I think people are just waiting to see something good. I mean, we got Batman, we got Superman, you got Wonder Woman, you got The Flash, right? We want to see them in an Avengers type movie. It doesn't have to be Avengers, but we want to see them in something good, man, where they stay true to the characters. And through the whole DCEU, I think Wonder Woman, maybe Batman were the only two that they really stay true to. Aquaman a little bit, but again, you can tell with some of the directions they've taken that they're trying to be a lot like Marvel. And I don't want them to be like Marvel. I want them to be the way they're supposed to be. I want them to be like, am I frozen?
I don't know. Are you?
Oh, no. Okay. Because I'm looking at my screen and it looks like
you're a little slow.
I'm a little slow. Yeah. Okay. But you guys can hear me clear, right?
Yep.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yeah, so like I'm saying, I personally want it to succeed. I want DC to go in that darker type of universe. I want them to be a little bit darker. I don't want them to be all the jokey and funniness that Marvel is, because for me, even though some of the movies are good, there's a lot of them that I'm really not satisfied with, right?
Mhm.
Guardians of the Galaxy 2, too funny. So the hypeness for me is there. I like the fact that people are hyped for it. And do I think it's overhyped? Absolutely not. I mean, people want to see it for a reason, right? So you hear what the movie is. We know going to get a scene with Darkseid. We're going to get all this stuff that people have been looking to see. So definitely not overhyped.
Great. Okay. Wow. Okay, 3 minutes. Is it overhyped? Yes. It was overhyped to begin with, right from the beginning. Wait. Listen, when Zack Snyder came out and hinted, "Hey, I had the movie ready. It was in the can. It just had to have it edited, had to be put together, had a few more things I had to shoot, and I had to get the effects done." He put that out there and grabbed all the people who didn't like that movie and said, "Listen, you can see when it was cut. You can see how it was cut." And yes, that's absolutely true. The original movie is cut and so choppy that you can tell there's certain scenes where their chemistry really works together. And you got to wonder, was that a Zack Snyder scene or was that Josh, however,
Josh Whedon.
You have to wonder because you watch some of them when they're all sitting around and Aquaman ends up sitting on the lasso of truth. It's a great scene. It's a really good scene. And I wonder whose scene was that. I have a feeling it was probably Snyder's scene, just the way that they worked together. But I think it is overhyped. Now, does that mean I don't want it to do good? No, I'm with Danny. I really do want this to work well. I got everything was told to me that there's going to be a 2-part movie. We're going to get to see, even if Steppenwolf was in it, that was not who the main bad guy was supposed to be. It's supposed to be Darkseid. We all want to see Darkseid. Is it still too early in the whole DC, universe for Darkseid? I think so, but fine, whatever. It's done. You said you were going to do it. If you do it, I know that there's a lot of people talking about the Darkseid is going to be the early Darkseid before he was Darkseid, all this other stuff. It doesn't really matter. We want a good movie. As a comic book fan, I want a good movie. I just don't really know if that's what this is going to be. the fact that they're chopping it up into pieces and they're doing this a little at a time. I still think that the amount of money that he's been given is going to be the bare minimum beginning. I think they're going to give him more money. He's going to say, listen, I can do better. It's going to be better here. I just need a little more money, and they're going to give it to him. I think he gets 2 increases in his money before they start questioning him. But there's
about 70 million now. What I've heard. I've heard
so that's 1 increase because I've heard originally it was 30, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now it's 70. So, and again, I'm still under this. I'll believe it when I see it. I still am because it's like, God, this has been such a MacGuffin for how long now? Yeah. So, we'll see.
I got a rebuttal to some of that stuff.
Yeah. What?
Not your stuff, Chris. Mainly Nzo's.
Yeah, I know. So go ahead, bro. Let's do it.
let's say hypothetically that the 2014 year where the Spurs won, there was some technicality, and they said, "No, we're going to do over that game," and then the outcome is different. How would you feel
if the outcome was different?
Yeah. How would you feel about the whole do over?
I wouldn't want to do over.
Okay. Essentially, Zack Snyder's getting a do over.
Yeah. He's not really getting a do over because
not him. I'm saying that movie franchise, that particular movie is getting a do over.
Yeah, and that movie deserves
because you can't do over all movies.
No,
and it's not his fault. It's a do-over.
Exactly, that's what I mean. It's not his fault. They
essentially a do over.
But it wasn't his movie though.
Wait. Who did the Spurs win against?
Huh?
Who did the Spurs win against that year?
The Cavaliers.
Okay, so Cavaliers lost. What this basically is saying is the Cavaliers are Zack Snyder. So they said, "Well, wait a minute. We didn't get a chance to really put out what we could put out. So we want to play those 7 games over again."
Right.
And then somebody says, "Okay, fine. We're going to let you play it over again." And then the Cavaliers win.
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of what he's saying, and it makes sense.
I know what he's saying, but you got to understand something too, right? This movie that they put out wasn't Zack Snyder's movie. It wasn't his movie. It was pieces of his movie.
We're not just Cavaliers.
So it's not really a do-over. If it was his movie, if it was his movie, if he did the whole movie and they put it out and it failed, and then they said, you know what? Let's go back and change some of the things.
It's going to be titled the Zack Snyder cut.
It's like saying, okay, so the Spurs win the championship, right? Because LeBron's not playing.
That's the point.
Right? So LeBron's not playing.
That's like the Cavaliers saying that wasn't our game. That's not what our game was. So now we get to play again with our game.
And then if they do, which I wouldn't want it to happen because I'm a Spurs fan, but let's say it did happen and the Cavaliers did win. Then you absolutely know the better team won. Because without LeBron on that team, there's no way they're beating the Spurs. There's no way.
Okay.
There's absolutely no way they're beating the Spurs.
You'll be fighting tooth and nail if that was
Yes, I would. Absolutely. That's all I'm not denying that.
That's the only point I'm saying.
I'm not denying
this
that.
Movie franchise, this particular movie is getting a do-over. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah,
is that true?
Yes, and this movie deserves a do-over because
that's
the
all
movie.
I'm saying. No, we ain't going to deserve. You're going in getting a do-over.
It deserves a do-over.
I am of the mind that this movie, either way it goes, isn't going to fix DC's issues. DC is trying to come up with other plans. That's why we're hearing about Michael.
That's true.
Christian Bale. Ben Affleck, possibly. They're trying. Right, this is really a smokescreen. Let's give people what they want right now, so they're not talking about what we don't have here. And this is typical Hollywood. Look over here. Look. Magician. Whoop, poof. Here's the Zack Snyder cut. While we're trying to fix the mess that this is over here. Now, Danny's absolutely right. The Zack Snyder cut, if it answers the call that people wanted to answer, it could change everything else after. They may keep going down the line, which is what I always said. Let's just keep going down this line. We don't need to lose these actors. They have a storyline that can be fixed in other movies. Let's not ignore our problems. Let's say we have problems. Let's fix them. I've always said that.
Okay.
So if Zack Snyder fixes it,
Mhm.
great. I
Mhm.
just don't think he will.
But and my question is, you said if it goes good and they decide that they're gonna go change the direction, would it actually be changing the direction or going back to the original direction that they had anyways? Right?
Probably back to the original.
Exactly. So that's the thing. That's why they're putting this out, because right now they know that people are having issues and people don't like what's going on. But if people take to the Zack Snyder cut, then maybe they could say, okay, let's go back to our original stuff and do the things the way that they were supposed to be done. So.
Okay. All right, another hot topic. And I have not actually dug into this very much, so let's do it right now.
Have you read about it? Because I know it's just a rumor.
It is a rumor,
probably not even true, but it was something that I was like, you know what?
Yeah. Rumor is that Disney may be thinking of erasing the sequel trilogy of Star Wars. Do you think they should? Now, the rumor is they're thinking about taking it completely out of canon, which then opens up a couple other bags or boxes of worms, bags of worms, can of worms, whatever. Yeah. So let's start with Nzo. We'll let you go again. 3 minutes on the board. Go ahead.
Cool. All right. So this rumor to me, I think is absolutely bull crap. I really don't think it's gonna happen. Would I want them to even do it? I don't think so. I mean, I may not have been a fan of the sequels, but that's the road they took. So you live with it. You move on from there. You know, you create something else. Maybe go 100 years from now into the future, 100 years into the past, or whatever. But you do whatever you do is you get away from this saga. You've ended it. This is the way you ended it. If people don't like it, live with it. Because what are you going to do? You're going to erase it and then do it over again. And then people don't like it then either, right? So what's the point? You're just digging yourself into a bigger, badder hole. So my point is just leave it the way it is. Don't start doing this Terminator stuff that they're doing and, you know, want to go back and change it. Because from what I'm hearing is there was a loophole that from the article that in one of, I think they said in Rebels, where they did some time traveling or they mentioned time traveling. And that was one of the loopholes that they would able to use to erase the sequel trilogy, maybe put it into a different timeline or whatever. I mean, to me, it doesn't really mesh with the originals and prequels. So even if they did do that, you wouldn't really be losing anything. But now you're going to go and create a new Star Wars. You might not have Harrison Ford because he was completely done with it. He wanted to be done with it from Empire Strikes Back. Mm-hmm. You definitely don't have Carrie Fisher. And I mean, Mark Hamill, you can read all his tweets and videos. He wasn't happy with what they did. So will he come back as Luke Skywalker too? You know, I mean, I always say if the money's right, there's a good chance you can get him back. There's a good chance you could get Harrison Ford to come back too as well. But I mean, with him not doing it, what are we going to do? Kill him again? You know, it just doesn't make sense. So I'm a firm believer as if, you know, you lay your bed, you lay in it. This was your choice. This is the way you want it to go. So if you're not happy with the choice that you made, that's on you, not on anybody else. And it doesn't make sense to go back and switch it and change it and then create something new and have people even like it worse. Maybe they'll like it. Maybe you'll listen to the fans and do what they want. But, you know, you can't please everybody. It's just not going to happen. There are people that like the sequel trilogy. There's people that like The Last Jedi. There's people that like Rise of Skywalker. So my point is just leave it the way it is and move on. Go 100 years into the future, 100 years into the past, and get started all over again. That's what I think.
Okay. Let's see here. Okay, so what do I think? I don't see the point. I'm like you, Anzo. I don't see the point in just deleting it, saying it doesn't exist. First off, you've purposely changed canon to make these movies. Mm-hmm. Therefore, going backwards only admits you were wrong, which Disney doesn't do, and means that you open a loophole to bring back original canon. which tons of people want.
Mm-hmm.
But you are literally putting yourself out there saying, sorry, guys, we were wrong. They're not going to do that. Even if they are wrong, they're going to fire Kathleen Kennedy, get her out of the system, bring in somebody new, and fix it post, as they would call it in Hollywood. We'll fix it in post. We'll fix it afterwards. That's how Disney does it. The Iron Curtain, as I always call it. The curtain right here, everything back there can be chaos, burning flames everywhere, earthquakes, fire and brimstone behind that curtain. But in front, oh no, everything's good. Yeah, no, we got a plan. We're going forward. This is what we're going to do. Blah, blah, blah. They don't let anybody see the chaos that goes on behind the things. And Dandelion says it, or Dandelion Fluff says it right here. It also assumes they won't mess it up again. Harrison Ford wanted to die in Star Wars. He got his death in The Force Awakens. He will never come back. He will look at them and go like, you done crazy. You crazy. And you don't understand. You can't pay me enough money to come back. And I'm sure he was happy with his death. The first movie wasn't horrible. It's just totally pointless to go backwards at this point. Suck it up and do what you said. I'm okay with them going backwards 100 years and do the Knights of the Old Republic, or go 100 years forward. And even if they go back and like show the beginnings of the Jedi Council and all of that, even if it ties in a little bit to the prequels where we see Palpatine at some other point, or Darth Plagueis or somebody else, those touch into the Skywalker saga, but it can be an outside perspective look at the beginnings of that or something like that. There's lots of other things they can do. Will they do it right? Who knows? Yeah, Sith. JJ, ask me sometime. I'll really scare you with it. Actually, go look on my channel. There's a video about what I think Disney could do in 2021 with Bob and Kathleen supposedly stepping down. It's scary what I thought, but it does fall in line with Disney. But I say no. What's the point? It's just not going to fix anything. It's still there. What are you going to do? Delete it from your archives? Take it out of the circulation altogether? No, they're not going to spend that type of money. So no. Danny,
what was the question? I'm sorry.
The question is if I took $1 million from you, would I be happy?
You have to be in jail. I'll say that right now.
Rumor is that Disney may be thinking of erasing the sequel trilogy of Star Wars. What do you think they should? 3 minutes on the board. Go.
The question is he thinking about erasing it?
There's a rumor that Disney may be thinking of erasing the sequel trilogy. Do you think they should?
Hell yeah, they should erase that thing. That was
wow.
I know, eh?
Erase it. Nobody really likes it. Either somebody liked one or somebody liked the second one. Nobody likes the third one that I heard. So I mean, if I could do a reset button and get my fans back and do something good, and I know it's good or knew it was better than the last three, I think I would do that.
But,
hold on. Can I say something though?
Look at what Dandelion Fluff says. Actually,
you want to put a pause on this?
Up again.
Put a pause on Donnie's timer for a second, Chris. I know we're supposed to wait to debate after, but I just want to say, isn't this the same thing we just talked about? Isn't Star Wars going to get a do-over by doing that?
Huh? That wasn't the question. The question was it overhyped?
Yeah, but then we got into the do-over. You asked me if they were getting a do-over. Right, so wouldn't Star Wars be getting a do-over?
It would get a do-over, but the question is different.
Yeah, but you put it in a context.
Tell me what the question was. What's the question was?
I know what the question was, but you ended up putting it in a context of DC getting a do-over. So you said I would be mad. So now your questions that you asked me, everything you asked me about that with the Spurs and everything.
Wait. We'll get into this with the 3 minutes.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so you say yes.
You done got my train of thought thrown off now because I'm trying to get it. Them two different situations.
Okay, hold on. We're going to start your 3 minutes back over. You start right from the get-go.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to cut off, but I just...
3 minutes. Go ahead, Danny. Take your 3 minutes.
Okay. Read the question to me again. I want to make sure I get this question right.
Rumor is that Disney is thinking about erasing the sequel trilogy. Should they do it?
Okay. Should Disney do it? My answer is yes. As it reverts to the Zack Snyder thing, it's definitely being done. And the question was, is it being overhyped? I said, yes, it is being overhyped. I don't think this is being overhyped because this is the first time I'm hearing it about Disney redoing this. So if they want to do it, if you want to sell your car or whatever and get another car, who am I to say so? What I'm saying is, based on what I've seen, nobody likes The Last Jedi. Only a few people like The Last Jedi. A few people like The Force Awakens. Nobody seems to like Rise of Skywalker. So the juggernaut that Disney is, if they want to do that and get a chance to do it and try and get back their fans, go for it. I don't care one way or the other because as long as Star Wars is going to be in creation and they keep pumping out movies, I'm going to go see them. Unless it just get totally something like Sharknado or some crap like that. But as long as they got some kind of lightsaber sequence, Star Wars, something I can relate to, no matter how bad it gets, unless it deteriorates, like I said, Sharknado, I'm going to go watch it. I'm going to spend my $12 and go watch it because I'm a Star Wars fan. The same thing can be said with DC properties, Star Trek properties, Marvel properties. I'm a comic book Star Wars fan. I may not like it, but I'm going to go there and I'm going to pay my money. Then I'm going to critique it and say, well, this was a shit sandwich or this wasn't a shit sandwich. So this is the first time I'm hearing this about Star Wars. So to me, it's not overhyped. And to me, if they seem to have unlimited money or can find access to get the money to do stuff, so and their fans are so finicky and developing YouTube shows to just totally kill them in every way they can. If to change that tide or try something different, that makes sense to me. One example of insane is to do the same thing over and over and over and expect a different response. So Star Wars now seems to be doing the same thing over and over and over. So maybe it's time that they do something different.
Okay. All right.
Well,
let's get
I can't tell how much time I got.
Oh yeah, I took the clock down. Well, we're gonna start 3 minutes here, and I took it down so we actually had some room.
I think this topic is gonna take the rest of the time.
Yeah, let's just talk about it. So,
Danny, everything you just said contradicted everything you said to me in the last one.
Okay, wait. Let's put it this way. So, I know Danny, you were on the phone. Danny, I know you were on the phone. So, Nzo and I said no. Because here's the first thing. One, it puts them in a loophole where when they changed canon, and I know we talk about canon, I'm not going to go too far into that, but when they change the canon that people bitch about and say, oh my God, did it change it? It opens up a loophole that if they go back, they either continue down the old canon or they're going to go right down the same thing. I think Dandelion and Fluff said it the right way. Who says if they go backwards, they're going to be able to make it better anyways, or do it okay? The second thing is that Disney doesn't admit failure. They never will. They never do. They never have. So because of that, I don't think they will. I don't think they should. I think they go forward, get off of the repetitiveness, like you said, and whatever. Now, the Zack Snyder comment, Nzo, I guess it's similar, but what this really is more the discussion of the Zack Snyder cut before it was reality. Zack Snyder put out something saying, hey, I have it. It's all done, or it's basically done, and they won't show my vision. This is much the same thing. It was a rumor. He put a rumor out there that he had this vision ready to go.
Mm-hmm. And I get that it's a little bit different.
Well, but the thing is, this is currently where that rumor was. Right. Now, if Disney came out and said, yes, we're going to delete it, we're going to get rid of it, then comes the second part,
which is the do-over part,
which
right?
is the do-over. Is it overhyped that Disney is doing that? We're not there yet. I understand where you're going. It's just not quite that same question yet. We're at the rumor stage.
Right.
Now, if they did it, then you could ask, is it overhyped that they're doing it? Because if they made an announcement, Disney came out and said, Bob Chapek or Bob Iger came out in a press conference and said, yes, I know you guys have heard this. We are today terminating Kathleen Kennedy's contract, and we're bringing in Jon Favreau to run Lucasfilm, and Dave Filoni is going to be the ideas guy, and we're going to delete the sequel trilogy, and they're going to redo it. Then you have, is it overhyped? Because then what do you think would happen if they made that announcement?
Right. And I get
it would blow.
Bro, you gonna let him talk?
Right. Who, me? Let him talk.
Let you talk.
Oh,
go ahead.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
And I get that. I get the overhype part and this question are different. But the analogy that Danny used was the same. He said, if they do it, do they get a do-over? If Star Wars does do that, then Star Wars is getting a do-over. You understand what I mean? So as Star Wars getting a do-over, it's the same thing as if Snyder's getting a do-over. We're just not at that level yet. So if it does happen, Star Wars is getting a do-over.
There are two different arguments, Nzo, and I never said I was against a do-over. Not. I was just doing a particular point to kind of point your point. And all I wanted was you to say a yes or no. I asked you, would it be considered a do-over? You kind of beat around the bush and said yes, but no. The question is yes or no. And this one, it had nothing to do with overhype. It said if Star Wars had the opportunity, there's a rumor that it's got an opportunity to do whatever, or they get rid of it, I would get rid of it based on the fact that all my fans want to damn burn me at the stake.
Right. And the same thing with the Justice League. All the fans were burning them at the stake.
Don't want to burn them at the stake. DC
yes,
fans.
They did. Yes,
they
don't.
Did. They're saying that Zack Snyder is the savior. Zack Snyder ain't no savior.
I'm not saying he is, but
I'm saying that's what people now that want to see Zack Snyder cut are saying.
Okay,
no,
here, if you want to go down the Justice League route, here's the difference between Disney and that. It is almost a full consensus that this sequel trilogy was screwed up. There is a divide in the Zack Snyder or leave it alone. There is a divide.
But there's not a divide on Justice League. Universally, Justice League is crap to everybody.
I could show you several people that didn't call it crap.
Right. And I could show you several people that called the Star Wars trilogy good.
Yeah.
Yes, I could. Nindroid loves the Star Wars trilogy.
Of course, Nindroid isn't going to be in the chat today.
Nindroid loves it. Austinator has no problems with it. He didn't like The Last Jedi, but he said the Return of Rise of Skywalker and Force Awakens were okay, right? So there are people that like the trilogy.
But the thing is I think that there's a difference. I think there is a difference in the divide here.
One is real and one is an idea.
I get that. But the idea is what starts something from being.
And that's exactly real. What Zack Snyder did. Zack Snyder did his own thing he came out and said to people when the talk about Justice League started going downhill, he came out and said, "Hey guys, this isn't my movie. My movie, though, I got it right here in these reels. It's shot. It's ready to go. I have the footage. All I need is to put it together." But he even said it was done, like done, and we all knew that had to be crap. Yeah, well, not all of us. A lot of Zack Snyder fans were like, "Oh no, I bet you it is done. I bet you they just won't show up." Blah 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 blah. Now, as time is going on, we've learned no, it isn't done. Which anybody with sense would know it just isn't going to happen.
Completely finished, right?
But there is very different things going on here. Where this rumor is, it didn't come from a director of any of these movies. It didn't come from anybody in Disney. It came from somebody who was talking to somebody over drinks or dinner one night, and they said, maybe they're gonna trash it, and maybe it was somebody who did work for Disney, but it was an offhanded statement, and somebody's like, "Ooh, they're gonna do what?" And they put it out there. Zack Snyder made no bones about it. He started that rumor. He started the hashtags, Snyder Cut, and for over a year they talked about it, and they talked about it, and they talked about it, and every other week it seemed like, oh, we're going to get an announcement that they're going to release it. No, you didn't. It took AT&T finally to say, screw it, you guys want it, do it. So it wasn't even originally the idea that it started out as this. I think there is distinct differences to each of this. This is more, do you think should? I don't think just because he thinks that they should delete it that he's talking about a redo. In fact, he even said that he doesn't want Star Wars to go down the same repetitive path. If they redid the series, they would be going down the same repetitive path.
But that would be the plan.
I think what he's talking about is delete it and move forward with something else, right?
Let me ask a question. Okay. For DC fans, I don't see people, and if I'm incorrect, then show me these YouTube channels that I'm not seeing. I don't see YouTube channels that are solely formed and made to destroy the DCEU product. I don't see that.
You're absolutely right.
Star Wars, we got YouTuber after YouTuber after YouTuber, community after community. That daily they put out negative stuff, trying to discredit the leadership. And to me, it seems like they're destroying the very thing they say they love. So if you are the CEO, president, or owner of whatever property that you see every day, you turn on the social media and they're saying, down with Danny, down with Chris, down with Nzo, down with Nzo, down with Nzo. Wouldn't it make sense for you to try something different to try to win back those fans?
No,
if you're doing this thing.
I absolutely agree with you.
Okay, that's what I'm saying for that particular scenario.
But those
I'm saying for the DCU scenario, they don't have that. Yeah, Justice League was a load of crap. It was. But if they make something else, DCU fans still going to go.
Yes,
they're still going to go,
and people are still going to go to Star Wars same way. That's why Last Jedi still made the money that it made, right? My point was those same YouTube channels, and I know we're talking about one in particular. Won't say their names, right? But the same YouTube channel has a bunch show that you watch constantly, and that show that you watch constantly is trashing Justice League, the original, all the time. Your homeboy, and I won't say his name, but he was on your show, trashes Justice League all the time. He is a big defender of the Snyder Cut. He is dying for the Snyder Cut.
I know, and that's that individual's opinion. And like I said at the beginning of this, I am not a DC, Star Wars, Marvel hater. I am a lover of all that science fiction stuff, and I want all up to be successful. I can't help what other individuals say, and I'm not defending that. I mean, that's their cup of tea. My cup of tea is I want stuff that I like to be successful, so I can see more of it. And it just seems to me that a certain group of people in certain communities put negative stuff about Star Wars and not so much by other stuff. No, and I'm of the logical mindset that if I'm doing the same thing over and over and over, and I'm constantly losing fans, but constantly getting people that's doing negative YouTube content about me, then I want to do something different to try and turn that around. And the only way I can see, if I had an opportunity to erase my last 3 biggest failures in those fans' eyes, then I would do that.
But erasing them doesn't, because they're made. So you can erase them all you want to from the canon, but they're still there in history, right?
I'm going with what the question say. I can't augment the question. The question says, if you had a chance to erase that,
yes,
would you do it?
I get it.
If there's some parts of your life that you could do over, would you do over?
Absolutely.
Hell yeah. So that's what I'm saying. There are about two main parts
you get into, and this is what we're going to find. I think this is kind of funny that we go right. What you just said. If there were parts of your life you could redo, would you? Me? No. Why? Because that's who I am. That's why I'm here. That's what got me where I'm at right now. Now, if you go back, like we're going to find out with the Zack Snyder cut, if you go back and you redo it, does it fix the problems? Does it put you in a better position? We may get the Zack Snyder cut, and it may be such a colossal fucking turd that people are like, okay, well, I guess this didn't do what we thought. Like, I think I forget who it was that said it. I think John said it. Doesn't matter. Zack Snyder fans are going to say it was the best thing ever. They're not going to back down from that. But if it puts them in a worse position because they released it, then what? The same question is, if Disney went backwards, does it fix the problems? No, because we may get something just as bad. It doesn't take Solo out of the picture, which people hate. It doesn't take, it doesn't fix the problems of the Mandalorian that people might have had. It doesn't fix anything. So it doesn't change fundamentally, except for now they're admitting a failure, and they're not going to do that. So I think the difference between AT&T is that AT&T isn't worried about a failure. They want just to say, listen, we gave it a shot. What did it do? The fact, and this is also another thing that's about HBO Max. They want money. It's the same thing the Mandalorian was for Disney Plus. This is their way to help their brand get off.
Thinking, in my opinion, if this Zack Snyder cut is successful, this is going to open up Pandora's box for future movies that first time around they don't be successful. And so, oh, there's the Chris Knight cut, oh, the Nzo cut, or the Danny cut. You're gonna be seeing the same. You're gonna be seeing the same movie, the same name movie, 2 times.
Yeah, I agree. But that's the thing. Like the article, because I read it, it is basically saying that they would erase it and start over. Now, if they just erase it and leave it as the Return of the Jedi is the last one of the saga, then I can understand that. But if they redo it again, I mean, they're just going down the same road.
The question was, were they thinking about erasing?
No, I know.
Erase it. And if they erase those last 3 and do a whole different 3 that's more coherent, more connective tissue, or whatever, or more canon, or whatever the hell.
The only plus side of doing that, the only plus side of going backwards and cutting it out for Disney is you're not getting back Harrison Ford, you're not getting back Mark Hamill, and of course we're not getting back Carrie Fisher.
You don't have
the only thing that means is that you go forward without them, and a lot of the problems people did have it would be gone because people constantly said, why didn't we put all these people back together in a group? But I just don't think they're going to do that because Disney doesn't admit failure. They just don't. I'm surprised AT&T, I still to this day, and all the people in the chat are going to say, oh, but they're doing it. Yeah, I know they're doing the Snyder Cut, but until it actually is out there, I'm still not buying in because they've only announced it. How many times has movies been announced and then a year or 2 in development, they're like, oh, screw this, and it goes away.
Nindroid, he just popped up.
Hey, Nindroid.
What up, Ninja?
You see, so yeah. Well, I fully agree, Nindroid. I do agree that they've done it, and Disney always makes their bed, and they will always lie in it. Say what you will about Disney, they don't care. They will move forward, and they will take the lumps and totally. They totally don't give a shit about what people think.
And like I was saying, Ninja, you liked the sequel trilogy. Am I not correct? So comment so we can see, because I know for a fact that you have been defending The Last Jedi and Rise of Skywalker.
Word of the great Spock. These are the one. Sure as fuck don't outlive these a minute.
I get it, but Chris said there was not people that really.
Well, I mean, there's a more trust me. There's a more definitive divide in the Justice League than there is the Star Wars.
What do you mean? No, I don't think.
Definitive divide between people who wanted the Snyder Cut and people who didn't. There was a more divide in that than there was in Star Wars.
Liking the sequel trilogy. I totally disagree.
I don't think there's that many people
that like it. There are
that don't like the
no that
last
do
trilogy.
like.
that do like it.
That do. Oh, I don't think it's that lot neither.
Yeah,
Not all three of them.
I think
There
you're
might be
going
some people that like
70-30.
the first two.
I
The
think you're
last-
going 70-30 in the trilogy.
The only person I've seen like Rise of Skywalker is Nindroid.
I liked the Rise of Skywalker for its visual. I loved the visual, the feel of the movie. If you took the words out, if I watched it, and if it was a silent movie, I guess it would have made a lot better sense. Or whatever. There were so many cues in that movie they could have gone off and made it better.
You want to look at Dandelion Fluff's comment?
You didn't enjoy it. I enjoyed the trilogy.
No.
Okay, that's two.
Yeah,
I get
Can
it.
I get three?
Yeah, if Bostinator was in here, you'd probably get three too.
like I said, I don't feel like it's a trilogy, but I don't hate the new movies. I just the last one needs a lot of work to make it work. But Tommy, you know what I love about the trilogy, or the Rise of Skywalker? Not seeing it.
That's what I've been hearing.
It just, to me, they missed a lot of points on the last movie, so it didn't complete the series, and they added something that did. Listen, it's like they had the big bad Snoke.
I'm gonna tell you.
And
they
why
didn't have George Lucas? That's why that trilogy sucks. They did not have George Lucas input.
That's true.
You can't say that because a lot of people thought the prequels sucked when they came out.
They didn't.
A lot of people.
They did, but they didn't.
Okay, that's your opinion.
A lot of people was wrong.
That's how can people's opinion be wrong?
They're wrong.
There's a good
they're
point
wrong.
right there. How can it be wrong?
Like it?
How can an opinion be wrong?
You say it all the time. How can my opinion be wrong? You've said it to me.
What's the terminology? What's the terminology? Opinions are like assholes. Everybody's got
it, right? And you've said it to me many times. How can my opinion be wrong? I'll go back and find that video clip from you, bro.
God.
Yeah. Okay.
Blowing me up today.
No problem.
So what did we learn today? What did we learn today? Today we learned that where'd he go?
His work.
Okay.
Yeah,
so what did we learn today? We learned that we're, the do-over, the Zack Snyder cut is, we think, overhyped. You think not. Mm-hmm. You and I are on the same. This is perfect, because this is why I wanted to do this show originally. Is that to get it, I figured it'd always be like 2/3 to a third. It'd be two people on the same page, and sometimes not. I mean,
sometimes we're all on the same page.
Different, but we learned basically that the two of us think that the Zack Snyder cut's overhyped, which I still say it is, and until it comes out and until it's knocked out of the park, or until it fizzles, one of the two, we will not know. And then you and I agree that no, what's the point of taking out the sequel trilogy? I mean, it wasn't horrible. There were good parts of it and there are bad parts of it. But I think that's every trilogy. So, with that said, we got somewhere today with opinions. Good
debate. It's better when someone disagrees, or two people. It's always better. Yeah. It's better debate. You don't always want to agree on the same things. Kind of boring, right? So
with that said, we move forward, understanding that Disney does not, and I will say this again: Disney does not care what the fans think or say. They never have. They have notoriously, and I will always defend Iger, and I guess now that she's a part of it, I'll defend Kennedy in this mannerism. This is not new for Disney. They have done this. They have torn apart fairy tales. They have torn apart stories that are part of people's cultures by changing things in them, by changing the endings. Like in Little Mermaid, it doesn't end the way it does in the story, the real story. Let's talk about Hamilton. Oh, wow. Hamilton. Everybody loves Hamilton. Hamilton's one of the best musicals ever, blah, blah, blah. In today's climate right now, why is nobody calling out Hamilton? He was a slave owner. He sold slaves. He did all that. Why is this not being called out? You see, so Disney doesn't care. Disney's not on board with anybody's agenda except for Disney's. Disney will change the narrative to fix to do things their way. And when it backfires, they move forward and act like it never happened. They don't admit it. They just move forward. So, with that said, guys, thank you for showing up. Nzo, why don't you tell everybody where they can find you?
Yep. Just wanted to say, me too, Tommy, the hate was definitely unwarranted, but the hate from the prequels is what made him sell them. So,
Partially,
you know what I mean? Yeah, so you get what you get. But anyways, guys, you can find me at Biggaford Entertainment. You know what I mean? I've been on the Rule of Three. This is my second episode. I think my third episode on, but second since I've been a part of the team. We got tomorrow night, the Chaotic Conversation on Danny's channel. And then on Tuesday, we got Mind the Chaos List. So please come and check us out. Also, later on today, we're going to be doing some Equilibrium with me, Danny, and Terrence, and John. So check that out as well. And later on tonight, we'll be streaming with Robert Storms. And it's the Fuck, Marry, Kill tonight. So hope you guys tune in for that one. It's going to be a doozy.
Tell Robert he needs to get me back on someday.
I will.
Now, as long as you talk about there's a great Jedi, you ain't.
Oh,
you can kiss that dream
you
goodbye.
kidding me? That'd be a long ass freaking episode that we just sit there and be yelling and hollering at each other.
Yeah.
Okay. Yes. Okay. And Danny, go ahead and tell everybody about yourself, where they can find you.
Oh, I am Danny. My channel is Comic Chatter here on YouTube. I have several shows throughout the week with Nzo. This is one of them, the Rule of Three. We catch us here in about another 40 minutes at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time with myself, John, Terrence, and Nzo doing Equilibrium. Like he said earlier, tomorrow night, Chaotic Conversation. Tuesday night, Chaotic List. And then Saturday, we do nothing but sports. Me, Nzo, and Min Diesel. And now we got a new guest, tryout, Becky Broward. We're going to be talking nothing but sports. So please catch us on one of those shows if you can. That show is 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Saturdays.
Awesome.
Sub to our channels, guys. You know what I mean? Please.
Also, I want one favor from y'all people. I'm trying to get my 4,000 hours. I'm about 732 hours. So if you go on my channel and click playlist, just watch an hour or two. I don't mind. Any little bit of help.
You can go hit the playlist. He has a really long playlist. You hit that, leave it up on a tab, and it'll get in there. So I am Chris Knight. This is on my channel right now. It's being played on Chaos Central also. Please, guys, do me a favor. Go to Chaos Central's YouTube if you haven't already, and subscribe. I really would appreciate that. We're trying to get up to 100 subs so we can get our vanity title. So that would be Chaos Central, youtube.com/Chaos Central. It really helps get people there and stuff. We really would appreciate that. I'm currently over 2,500 subs. I'm trying to get to 3,000 right now. Help me out by going and hitting that subscribe button down below if you have not already done that. And everybody's links, everything we've talked about is down in the description box below. My PayPal, things like that. If you want to help me out with the channel, all that stuff really helps me out. We also have a Teespring page that has stuff about the Rule of Three and stuff like that. Some of that will be changing since Nzo's on board. We're working on tightening everything back up with the changeover and stuff. So we really greatly appreciate you guys being here, helping us with that. Guys, thank you very much. Gentlemen, have a good night. Everybody, say
Peace.
goodbye.